Hi, this is Ratan Gupta from Knowledge Varsity, and in this video session we are going to cover the concept of pivot table. Okay. Pivot table is a very useful tool to summarize the data, to analyze the data. Right? So if you have a huge data set, what you can do is, using pivot table you can easily slice and dice the data so that you can get the data as per your requirement. Okay. So here what we have is, we have a data from call center. Okay, so this column is customer ID, so the customers who are calling the call center. This is the duration of the call in seconds. Okay, then this is the purchase amount. When a customer call, okay, he may be purchasing the product. Okay, so in the call he will be purchasing the product, so this is the purchase amount. This is the representative who is serving the customer, right? And the last column is date of call. Okay, note that this table is a format, this is a table format we call as data table format. Till now, like, you would have seen tables like this. As an example, I'll show you. This is the table. Okay, so note that this is only the values table, right? It does not give you idea about the data. So let's say, as an example, if you see, if I scroll down, you will find that this hides the title or the header, it hides. Whereas if you see here, if I scroll it up, you will find that the columns are converted to the header of the table. So what we can do is, first you can convert any table to a data table. It's very simple. You can select the table and then you can go to insert and you can press table, and here you have to say where is the data of your table. If your table has headers, you check this box and you press OK. Right? Now you see, if I'm scrolling, so you will find that the columns have changed and it becomes a table header. It's very useful when you have lots and lots of data. See this. Okay. Otherwise, if this were not the case, what would have happened is, we do not know that what is this value. See, as of now we do not know what exactly is this value, right? So it's useful to have the column converted to tables, right? So this will be very useful to us, right? Now, one of the thing about the data table is, whenever you have created a data table, you can go to the design of the data table. Here only you can find that there is a pivot table. So here they are saying that summarize with pivot table, right? So you can summarize the data with pivot table. Otherwise, if you want to include the pivot table, what you have to do is, you have to click anywhere in the data table, anywhere, right? And you go to insert. In insert you will find that you have the pivot table over here. So what you can do is, you go to insert, pivot table, and you click on pivot table, right? So once you click on pivot table, the Excel is very smart. It will select the entire data, so you don't have to worry about it, right? By the way, like, we have given a name to this table. So if you see that we have named it and we have made it table 2. Even if you do not name, Excel is very smart to see the entire table, right? And then they are asking you, so select the table and where you want the pivot table to be placed. We want the pivot table to be in new worksheet or existing. So since here we want in the new worksheet, let's select new worksheet and go. So we'll say OK. So what you find here is, the pivot table is created. So you have here the pivot table, right? One thing you will notice that you have over here pivot table, and this is the name of the pivot table 4. They're saying that to build a report you have to choose the pivot table field. So this is your pivot table field. This is the default layout in the Excel. If you want to change the layout, you can change. So you say field section and area section side by side. So what we have is, you have, this is the field section and these are the area section. Okay, we'll discuss about this. First let's see here. You can see this is side by side. You can see only field section, you can see only area section, or you can see only area section. So area section 2 by 2 and 1 by 4. So we want the default layout. Now what is the use of this area section and field section? right? See this, a table will have a row and column. So a table will consist of row column values. So we have over here row values, row 1, row 2, like that you have the values, right? And then you have column. Okay, typically when we are having data, what we can do is we can summarize the data. When I say summarize the data, you may want to know this row, okay, what is the sum of the values of all the row, right? Or you may want to know what is the count of all the rows. So these are very useful in analyzing, let's say, sales type of data, okay, company's profit type of data. All those data you can easily summarize. So what we have is, here if you see, you have, these are the fields, okay, and here you have the area, right? So row labels, you can put any field in the row label, right? But the summation of the values, you should put only those values which can be summed up. Okay, as an example, if you see this data, okay, what we have is, we have this as a customer ID. So what we may want to know is how much each customer is giving the business, or how much is the purchase done by each of the customer. So each of the customer, how much purchase they are making. So what we can do is, we can say, okay, sorry, we say that in the row we put the customer. So see, all the rows you'll find that the customers have come, right? Then in the summation of the values, you can say purchase amount. So you can see what I am doing over here is, I am selecting this with a left click and I am dragging and I am dropping in the row label. This summation values purchase amount, what I am doing is, I am clicking, I am dragging and dropping over here. So here you find that the sum has come, right? So here you have the row labels and here you have the sum of the purchase amount, right? So this you can make it a name also. Let's say suppose you say purchases. So what you can do is, you can double click here, sorry, so you say that you just double click here and you will find that custom name can be given. Let's say suppose you want to give the custom name of purchases, sorry, so you say purchases. Okay, so now it has come as purchases. So it gives you much better idea, right? Now this is how the customers have done the purchasing. So client 1 has made purchase of 6785. So this gives you very good idea about how much is the purchasing done by one client. Okay, right? Now you may be interested many times to get an idea about how much of the total business this client has contributed, right? So what we can do is, it looks very silly that why we would want to include again the same column, okay, but I can include the same column over here and put in the purchases. Okay, let's see, I have put purchases here, I can put here purchase as dollar, okay, right? And what I can do is, here I want to represent how much each percentage, how much each customer is contributing as a percentage of total sales. So you have that all features also available. What you can do is, so once we have this, what we can do here is, we can right click here and you find that we have here summarize values, show values. So what we'll do is, we'll click right click and we say that show values as percentage of grand total, right? So if you do that, it will give you how much is the percentage contribution by this client. So what I'll do is right click here, show values as percentage of grand total. So see this, you have now a very simple way to get how much is the contribution by this client. Otherwise what you would have to do is, so here what we can do is, we can say percentage of total sales. So this is, now this is much better to understand which client is better, right? So what you can do is, you can, if this was not available, you would have done 6785 divided by total, right? So that is also, but there is one problem over here. If you drag it, let's say, you find that these are the same values. Why this is the same value? Because the way you are putting this data, so see, this is $A, $3, right? And this is, so that's why we are seeing that it is the same data that will keep on repeating, right? So you could change it, so there is no problem, you can change it, right? But however it will require lots of changes here, right? So it's better that we use inbuilt function, and we know that now it's a percentage of total sales. What if we want, for let's say not all the clients, we want only few clients over here? What we can do is we can filter here. See this, you have a filter over here, right? So you can put value filters, you can say top 10, let's say you want to have top 5 client by purchases, you can say. So you will be seeing only the top 5 clients, right? Note that here the percentage of total sales will change. Why? Because here now your total values is only 36. So this client is contributing 20.95% of your top 5 sales. So please note that it is not the original percentage. So this will be based on this divided by this value, right? Or you can put, let's see if I clear filter, so you can put value filters, you can select few clients only, whichever client you want, you can have it. Note that once you put the filter, you will find that here your filter icon will come, okay? Plus you will find that a filter icon is shown here also. It shows that there is filter placed on the customer ID, right? So this way we can put the filters. Let's say we remove the filter, okay? So we have removed the filters over here. Yeah. Now many times you may want to know, see if you see this data, this client is served by this representative, okay? You may want to filter on the representatives and see that how each representative is serving the customer and getting the revenue, right? So what we can do is, okay, you will find that there is a report filter over here. This report filter can be used to filter on the basis of representative, date, duration, whatever you would want to do, right? But it makes sense to have an idea about how each representative are serving the customer. So what we can do is, again we can select, okay, drag it, and we can put it here, right? One other thing you will find is this report filter, this whatever is a report filter, it is shown over here. So this is the filter. Currently all the representatives are over here, right? We may want to change it, right? So let's say suppose I want to change it to only R01. So I will say only R01, right? So this representative has given sales of total 18,415 divided among customers like this, okay? Or if you may want to select for R01 and R02, what you can do is you can check this, select multiple items, and you can click over here and press OK. So now you have R1 and R2, they have contributed this much of the total business. So with that, what you can do is you can filter. So let's say suppose you want to know one particular representative how he is doing, so you can put that in the filter, okay? Or if you want to know how a customer is doing, so what you can do is you can put the customer and you can put the representative here. What we have done is now we can filter it on the basis of customer. Let's say we can clear the representative filter. So what we can do is we can clear the filter, right? So all the representatives are there, and we can say that, okay, for customer 1, how he is being served by the various representatives. So you see that customer 1 is served like, okay, for he is best served by representative 3 because he has contributed 33% of the sale. So similarly what you can do is you can say, okay, C02 who is served, again R3 has served. Like that you can get many of these ways you can find out how the various clients are being served. So what you have is, it's very simple and very practical. It is highly intuitive. So you can see customer, you can see representative as row, summation of the values, okay? Like that you can make lot of data. So I have created some of this sheet. So what we have is this, I have already told you. So row you have the customers and the sum of the purchase amount, okay? So you have, I have not put any filter. Sheet 2, if you see, you have the row labels are representative versus the purchase amount, and here I have put the filter on the representative. Okay, so if I clear the filter, all the representative will come. I have sorted it on the basis of representative. So if I, otherwise it will be only 3 representatives are there. Then here if you see, I have put the row as the date. So here if you see, the row labels are the date of call, and here is a purchase amount. So what we do is, let's say we remove the filter, right? So you have this are the values September, October, November, December. So we are trying to understand, okay, how much sales is happening in each month. Okay, so you can get this data. So if you want to put the date, what you will do is, okay, let's say we start with a clean slate. We'll say date comes over here, and the representative, oh sorry, the purchase amount comes over here, right? But note that the dates are not like what we have over here. It is not on the basis of you have these are not on the basis of month, right? What you can do is, okay, you have a way to group this by month. You right click here, you will find that you can see here group. We can group it. So Excel will try to automatically group it, right? So you have grouping by months, days, quarter, years. You can group whatever the way you want, you can group, right? So let's say suppose we want to group it by month. So you see that I get the September, October, November, December. If I want to group it by year, so I can say group, and I can say quarter. So see, I have quarter 3 and quarter 4. I can also group it by years. See, I have data of only 2010, so only 2010 data is coming. So if you have huge data set, you can get how the company is performing or the reps are performing quarter wise, year wise. This is very useful to get an idea about the performance of those customers, representatives, etc. Right? Here what you can do is you can put the customer as a report filter, and you know that, okay, customer number 1, how he has performed over, let's say suppose you want to get an idea about how he's performed over, let's say months. What you can do is you can group in months. So see, you say customer 1, this is how he has performed over the month. So he has performed very less, he has given very less revenue in December. So you may want to know what could be the reason. Right? So I would say that this is a setting for you. You should try to play. What you take any data, anyway this data will be available with the video. You play and try to get an idea about how to summarize the data, how to analyze the data. Right? Then here if you see, I have here the row labels as the duration. So what I want is, I can start with a clean slate again here, let's say, and let it remain the purchase amount. Let's say we put duration over here, right? So currently this is all group, right? So if you put the duration over here, this duration is the call duration. See, the call duration can be, let's say if I sort it, 2 minutes, 2 seconds to lot more, 176 seconds, right? What I want is, I want to summarize, getting an idea as to how much, let's say whether the higher duration calls are getting me more money or lower duration calls are getting me more money, right? So what we can do is we can group this duration also. We will right click here, we'll say group. Now this group, you can make a decision as to how you want to group. Let's say suppose I want to group and numbers starting from 1, because duration will not be 0. Let's say suppose I say 60 seconds. Okay, so 60 second is one duration, and I am, so sorry, it will be ending at, let's say, I do not know, let's say 240. What is our maximum data? You can see. So data, you have 176 is the maximum data. So what you can do is you can say group, and you say start at 1 and end at 180, and you are increasing by 60 seconds. So you see, okay, you see between 1 to 60, this is the purchase amount. Okay, So 61 to 120, this is a purchase amount, 120, 12. So more than 2 minutes duration, the revenue is decreasing. Less than 2 minute duration, revenue is less. So you have more revenue over here, but it may not necessarily be true that you have more revenue coming because of only longer duration call. It may be because you have more transaction. Okay, so what you can do is you can click on count. So let's say here we put, and we'll say instead of that we want count. See this? So without that count, the data was looking superficial. See, now you have 524 count and you are getting this much sales. So maybe duration may not be that good factor in getting the revenue. Maybe this is one metrics you can have, right? So what we have is, I can also group it differently. So let's say I say starting, and but I want to filter it 30-30. So I can say, so now you have 1 to 30, 31 to 60, like that you have now this. So you can get some analysis done on this, right?